Spotlight on Service is sponsored by Otco Home Appliances. Luxury lives here.
We are celebrating our nation's 250th birthday by honoring everyday Americans. We call it Red, White, and You.
It is the perfect way to honor veterans in the St. Louis area who have served their country. Steve Savard joins us with tonight's Spotlight on Service.
Tonight's subject knew from an early age what he wanted in life, and he went out and made it happen. Growing up in Minnesota, Scot Heathman wanted to fly and serve his country. Well, he did both in a decades-long, highly decorated Air Force career that began with an ROTC scholarship to Illinois Institute of Technology. It led to 6 combat deployments as a refueling pilot and culminated with his appointment as commander of Scott Air Force Base. And he achieved it all before the age of 50. But he knew decades before what he wanted in life.
It was kind of embedded in my life and in my family that serving the community is the right thing to do. The military, to me, was the ultimate way to serve not only my community, but my nation. And matching service up with the ability to fly an airplane, I couldn't think of anything better.
Scott's Air Force aviation career took off after graduating college. He became a command pilot in mid-air refueling missions in both KC-135s and C-17s.
We have a breaking news story to tell you about. Apparently, a plane has just crashed into the World Trade Center.
He was scrambled into those duties shortly after the planes crashed into the World Trade Center on 9/11.
We're refueling F-15s and F-16s that are defending the homeland. We're waiting for something else to happen. And luckily, nothing else happened.
In the ensuing war on terror, Scott would deploy 6 times to Iraq and Afghanistan, conducting vital but dangerous refueling missions that require pinpoint precision with planes no more than 20 feet apart.
In the owner's manual, right up front, it states, flying 2 large aircraft in close vertical proximity is inherently dangerous. And we train a lot for that. And we hope and pray we never hear the words breakaway, 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 because that means something bad is potentially about to happen. But if we hear that, we respond to that and we get the 2 aircraft apart and then we reset and try again. In the combat zone, now you've got people that are potentially shooting at you. You don't have anything to shoot back with. You're flying a gas can in the sky. So you're hoping and praying that you've got great fighters around you who can take care of business.
Welcome to the 375th Air Mobility Wing Assumption of Command Ceremony.
Scott eventually was promoted to colonel and was chosen to command Scott Air Force Base, an enormous honor and responsibility in the best of times. But Scott's command was complicated by COVID and a brain tumor that required a 10-hour surgery and extensive therapy. Despite those challenges, Scott's team earned high marks for his 2 years in command.
We didn't lose a single mission during COVID. Even though we had people going down for COVID from time to time, we always had backups ready to go. So when we needed to move the most important people in the country, we did that. When we needed to get the most critical people out of a combat situation, we were able to do that. And I would say that's 100% mission success.
Now retired from the Air Force, Scott puts his 3 master's degrees to good use, teaching and lecturing on leadership, and as the CEO of the Wedge Innovation Center in Alton. But he still finds himself thinking of his days in a cockpit.
Any aviator who isn't flying actively will tell you they've missed it. There is just something so magical about being in a tube flying up there. It's awesome.
And something else that's on Colonel Heathman's resume, he's been trusted to move NASA spacecraft, some of them headed to Mars, into launch position. That's an enormous responsibility. They don't just take that lightly and pull anybody off the street. Scott, his wife Mary, and son Joshua live in Shiloh, and
So accomplished.
even before the age of 50.
How they do that, how they refuel in the air is just amazing, so precise.
And as he said, it's even more difficult in a combat zone.
Yeah.
Bad guys are
Right.
looking out to do something to you in a plane.
Thanks, Steve.